everybody, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Jen, and I just want to start by saying thank you so much for watching my video. We are going to do a look that I came up with using a Colourpop palette. It's super simple, so if you guys want to see the way that I achieved it, then just keep watching. I'm going to start by pinning my hair back, and I'm going to start using the Olay facial lotion, and I'm just going to put that all over the face. I really like to work that into the skin, and I definitely think that you need moisturizer a couple times a day. So I definitely do that in the morning, and I do it at night as well. And at night I use Drunk Elephant products. But when I'm just doing my makeup, I do use the Olay. So once I have that all over the face, I'm gonna go in with a face primer. My favorite is the Makeup Forever Step 1 Equalizer Primer. I love this primer because it gives such a nice canvas to the skin before applying the foundation, and it really helps to fill in any fine lines or wrinkles. And now that I'm in my 30s, I definitely need to cover up those imperfections. So I'm definitely going to start in the middle of the face and work my way out and really push that into the skin. I love that primer so much, by the way. Now I'm going to go in with a luxury foundation. I'm using Armani Luminous Silk, and I'm going to give that a nice shake. Always shake your foundation, you guys. And then because it's so expensive, I'm going to start with one tiny pump, and I'm using my Morphe G6 foundation brush. I love this brush so much. I highly recommend it. It's super affordable and it's freaking bomb, you guys. So I put that in the middle of the face again, and I start with the cheek areas. And so what I'll do is I'll push it where I want, and then I will go in circular motions to maneuver the makeup where I want and to give myself a nice clean canvas. So yeah, I just go in circular motions, and then I like to start off with a little bit of makeup and build the foundation. I do not like to start off with too much. That is definitely how you're gonna get more of a cakey appearance. So always start with less, because you can always add more, but if you start with too much, you can never go backwards, if that makes sense. So again, I'm just buffing that all over the skin and buffing it. I used chapstick this day, so I didn't go over my lips, but sometimes I will. So yeah, and then always make sure that you're blending a little bit down into the neck. And I use an entire pump for my forehead. I do have a medium-sized forehead, so I like to make sure that I have enough product for my forehead as well. So I pull my hair back, and I will go in circular motions to buff that foundation into the skin. The Armani Luminous Silk Foundation is such a good foundation for summertime. It is definitely light to medium coverage in my opinion. It's very silky and it's very pretty, but you definitely do need to build it in order to make it like a full coverage foundation. And then whatever product I have left on my brush, I will go over my eyelids with. I'm not really trying to, cover up too much on my eyelids at this point, but I'm just using the rest of the foundation because it's such an expensive foundation. I definitely want to use every single drop. Now I'm going to go in with a NARS dupe concealers. I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me concealers. These concealers are super good. I use two different colors. I use a light one and then like a medium toned one. And I feel like these concealers are just so beautiful, and it's, such good coverage, and it just gives like a nice almost sheen underneath the eyes, and I prefer a sheen versus a very dry under eye. So, and then I do go right under my eyes to kind of give my like a lifting appearance. So that's why I kind of make those like stripes underneath my eyes. That's definitely gonna lift the face. So that's a really nice little trick right there. And then I'm just again applying the concealer wherever I want the light to hit. So I'm putting it in the middle of my face so that the middle will pull out. But yeah, and then I'm gonna go in with the same foundation brush that I use, and I'm using the G6 again, and I'm gonna go ahead and use stippling motions, stippling and pushing that foundation into the skin. And right here I'm using feathering motions is what I like to call it, and I'm just kind of doing it lightly to give myself a little bit of an eye primer. This day particularly, I knew I wasn't gonna do too crazy of an eye look. so I don't need to use an eye primer. I will just go in with concealer on days like that where I know I'm not gonna do like a super crazy eye look, if that makes sense. So again, I'm just buffing that into the skin and making sure that I'm giving myself a nice clean canvas. And again, the light is going to pull, anything light that you put on your face is gonna draw attention to the eye, so it's gonna pull out. And again, we are creating dimension on the face, which is my favorite. I really take my time when I'm working on the face, and it's probably one of my favorite parts. I love doing eyes as well, but the face is just very therapeutic for me. So again, I'm just buffing that and using stippling motions. And I really love this brush because it literally does all the work for me. Then I'm gonna go in with the Pure Contours Diary. I'm gonna set the eyes and everywhere that I just applied that, that concealer. So I'm using the 2 shades that I have left in this palette, and I wanted to show you how much I grab. And then instead of swiping this product, I'm gonna push that into the skin. And this is gonna allow a little bit of a heavier application. So that's very important to me. I want the powder to be kind of like a little bit heavier, if that makes sense. So that's why I push it. Then I'm gonna go in with the Revlon pressed powder. I love this compact so much. It comes in 3 different shades. There's a light, medium, and dark, and I use the medium. And yeah, it's a really great product. You can get it at the drugstore, and I definitely wanted to use high-end products in this video as well as drugstore. So I take my Angle G4 brush by Morphe, and I will apply that all over the face. I will swipe at first and push that into the skin, and then after I have enough coverage, that's when I will add a little bit more product to my brush, and I will now push that into the skin to allow myself to have more. So now I'm using the e.l.f. palette. I love this palette so much, you guys. I seriously got it from I think Walmart for like $4 or $5, and it's so good. And then I'm using a MAC angle brush, and what I'll do is I'll go a little bit heavy-handed where I want the contour to be, and then I will go back and buff it out. But at first I'm just dispersing the product where I want it initially. And then I don't need too much of contour on my nose. I already have a very skinny nose, so I just kind of put a little bit of powder just again for a little bit of dimension. And then my favorite part is the forehead area. I have a heart-shaped face, so I'm gonna fill in the contour areas on the sides where like the heart part would be, if that makes sense. So again, once I have the product where I want it, that is when I will start doing circular motions to blend that into the skin. So right here, this is all blending now. So super fun, and you can see that there's already parts of my face that are pulling out. So that's great. And I noticed that I went a little heavy on the nose, so I'm gonna blend that out a little bit. Then I'm gonna go in with the Makeup Geek Summer Fling blush. It's a bright orange blush, and I love it so much. I kind of, I stopped doing the blush on the apple part of the cheeks. Now I do it more towards the outside. I will do it more almost to the edge of my eye and out, and I do put a little bit on the forehead now, just for a little bit more color onto the face, and this is what you should have so far. So I'm just kind of examining the look. I like to make sure that it looks good in the close-up mirror as well as the far away mirror, because you know that can be different too. Now it's time for highlight. I am still loving the JACLYN and Becca highlights. I'm using Prosecco Pop. It's more of like a gold shade, and I'm using my Morphe M533 brush to apply it. Again, I like to kind of like push this side to side because it also makes this particular product really pretty. So that's how I do that. And then I put a little bit above my eyebrows, and that's again gonna lift the face, a little bit on my nose. And then my favorite part is to apply it above the blush, and then the Cupid's bow. The Cupid's bow is one of my favorites. It looks super beautiful next to your lipstick. Then I'm gonna go in with the Morphe Setting Mist, and I'm gonna set the face right now. Now that my face is completely ready for, and now that my face is completely done and everything, I can set my face. So that's kind of what I do instead of doing it at the very end once I have eyelashes and everything on. So now I just kind of examined the look and I decided to kind of blend everything in again using a MAC brush. And now I'm gonna go in with brows. I've been kind of doing my brows before my eyeshadow lately and I really like it. I do have an eyebrow tutorial and I'll be happy to put that in my description box if you guys want to check it out. I do kind of have a unique way of doing my brows. I use a MAC angle brush and I use a NYX pencil. And what I do is I kind of carve out my brows, kind of like when you're a kid and you're coloring in a coloring book. I'm kind of lining out the brow and then I will fill in the brow. So if that kind of makes sense, and hopefully that analogy is good for you guys. But yeah, I just kind of carve it out and I get my eyebrows threaded, so I just kind of go off of what I already have. And then once I have the outside done, I will work the brush the way that the hair is growing, and I will push side to side with the brush so that the color gets dispersed and it moves where I want it to go. So I really like this technique. It works for me. I have very light eyebrows, so I definitely need to darken in my eyebrows, and I really like the way that this turns out in photography. I do call this the quote wet look, and so it is a little bit more dramatic. It's not for everybody. You can always just use an eyeshadow for your brows if you'd rather have a more soft appearance, but for me personally, this is what I like. And then once I'm done, I will brush them out and kind of blend them in. And lastly, to finish my eyebrows, I will take my pressed powder and I will just kind of put that in the middle part of the brows. Then I'm gonna go in with the Colourpop SOL palette. Such a beautiful palette, and I'm gonna go in with this orange shade. I believe it's called Dynamite. And I'm gonna put this color in the transition area. I'm using a Morphe M433 brush. And I'm just kind of like feathering it. I'm just doing it very lightly. This is going to be the first color that I use on my eyes. Once I have the product where I want it, I will then start to go in circular motions and really push that into the transition area. And so I start off, again, just like I did with the foundation, I start very light and then go a little bit more heavy-handed. And so I go in circular motions and back and forth motions until I feel that the product is blended, and I kind of want just like a wash of color in this look. So that's kind of what I did. And then I'm gonna go in with the JACLYN Hill palette. I use this palette every single day that I do my makeup, guys, and I'm going in with the color Pukey, and I'm gonna go right over that transition color. I'm just gonna add a little bit more dimension by doing this. And again, I love this palette so much. I use it every single day that I do my makeup, and I really think that it's worth the money if you're interested in getting a palette that has almost every single color. And then I'm gonna go in with the creamsicle color, and I'm gonna add that into the transition area as well, again, for some more dimension. It just really makes the eye look really beautiful when you have a couple different colors in that transition area, in my opinion. Then I'm gonna go in with this beautiful shade in the Colourpop SOL palette. Every time I use this color, you guys, I just think about how beautiful it is. I love this shade so much, and you'll get to see it in a minute once I have a little bit more product on my brush, but I kind of just put it where I want it, and then I will kind of carve out the eyelid shape. You don't want to go above your eyelid, by the way. You definitely want to keep the eyeshadow on the lid only, unless you're doing like a monotoned look. So again, I just put that right there, and then it should look like this. And then a little bit of a dance party every now and then is always perfect when you're doing your makeup. I don't know why, but I always start to dance. And then now it's time to blend. I will take a MAC brush and I will blend those two colors together. You definitely do not want to have a harsh line in between that lid color and your transition color. Now I'm gonna go in with a white kohl pencil, and this is just gonna open up the eye and make it look a little bit more doll-like and bigger. Now I'm gonna go in with this really fun shade called Floaties, again in the same palette, and I'm using a pencil brush to apply it. It's so beautiful, and I'm a little bit in shock because I've only used it a couple times. So again, I'm just putting that on my pencil brush, and I am just putting it on the drop shadow area. Again, the drop shadow area is the bottom part of your eye, or at least that's what I learned in makeup school. And again, this is just gonna make the eye appear a little bit bigger as well. And then I'm doing this pop of color just for something fun today. I just thought it'd be like so much fun to have this bright color under my eye, and I think that it's super flattering. And then I wanted a little bit more of a pop, so I went in with the color that was right next to it. It just has like 3 dots, I don't know the name of it, but it's a really pretty shade, and as you can see, it just intensified the color and next to my blue-green eyes, I think it's super flattering. Then I'm gonna go in with one of my favorite colors, my favorite kohls. It's Prunella by MAC. It's a dark purple shade, like a plum. It is very beautiful, and I'm just gonna line my eyes, nothing crazy. You don't have to go too crazy with it or anything. I'm just literally lining the top of my eyes right now. I do extend it a tiny bit after my eye ends, but not too much. I'm definitely not going for like a cat eye or anything. I just want to end the color a little bit past my eyes to make them appear a little bit bigger. And again, I just examine the look, and this is what you should have so far. Now I'm gonna go in with that white kohl again. I felt like it got a little bit dingy. And then I'm gonna go in with L'Oreal Voluminous Blackest Black Mascara. I'm just gonna apply a light coat to my top lashes. Then I'm gonna go in with MAC Gigiblack lashes for my bottom lashes. I love this mascara so much for the bottom lashes, you guys. It's so good. It really like grabs onto the lashes and pulls them like where you want them to go. And it is, you know, a little bit pricier, but it's a very beautiful mascara. Then I'm gonna go in with the Smashbox Petal Metal palette, and I use this for the inner corner. I pretty much use these shades for the inner corner almost every single day. There's 2 shades to choose from, and one has a little bit more pink tone, and then one has a little bit more gold, so whatever colors I'm going with that day, I can just choose one of those highlight colors for my inner corner highlight, which again is just gonna open up the eyes. Now I'm just examining the look like I do almost after I apply every single color. And then I'm putting that same highlight that I did on the inner corner right under the eyebrow, just to give a lifting appearance and to make my eyebrows a little bit more intense. Then I'm gonna go in with the All Nighter by Urban Decay now that I'm completely done with the face products and everything. And I'm gonna set the face one last time. That's a great all-nighter spray. Now it's time for some lashes. I'm using the Miss 3D lashes in M319, and I'm using the Duo Glue. These lashes in particular, I'm just reusing. So right now I am taking off the excess glue that I had before. And again, you can always reuse your lashes. You can use them at least 3 to 7 times is what I like to say. So definitely don't just toss them after you use them. Definitely get your, your bang for your buck by re-wearing them. So again, with the Duo Glue, it doesn't get tacky for I think like 20 seconds or something like that. So you definitely have time to maneuver the lash where you want it to go. So I kind of just place it. I don't use any special tool or anything. I just use the 2 hands that God gave me, and I set the lash where I think I want it, and then I will kind of shift it from left to right depending on where I want it. And then I always make sure that the base of the lash is right where the base of my natural lashes grow. And then of course it's time for a dance party because I have 1 lash done, and that's always so exciting. And my mascara is my microphone at this point. And again, I'm just pushing down the lash, making sure that it's kissing the bottom lashes, or my natural lashes. And as you can see, 1 eye is done, 1 eye is not. Look at how much bigger the right eye looks versus the left. So cool what makeup can do. And now it's just time for the left lash. So again, I'm just pushing that where I want it to go and maneuvering it where I want it to go, because the Duo Glue allows you to do that. I do love the House of Lashes glue. However, you do have to, once you just place it, you have to let it sit there, and that's where it's gonna stay. So the Duo, you have a little bit more time to play around with it, if that makes sense. And now I'm just examining the look and making sure that I like it and everything like that. And this is what you should have so far. And it's time to take down my hair, and we are almost done. Now it's time for some lips. I'm going in with Kylie Liquid Lip in One Wish. It is a kit, so you get the One Wish liquid lip and the liner to match, but I actually use a different liner in this video. So I'm using the One Wish to apply. I do the bottom lip first, and then I do the top, and I kind of turn around the applicator to kind of line the lips when with the applicator. And I make sure that I get the entire lip, make sure you get the sides as well. And I make a very awkward mouth. My mouth looks so awkward right there, but whatever. And then I will blend that in. I will make sure the top and the bottom blend and go naturally where they will go. And then I'm gonna go in with Candy K, which is a different lip liner. It's a little bit darker in tone. And what this is gonna do is it's gonna make my lips appear bigger. And that is what I go for every single day. And I really like to have a nice line on the exterior of my lips. I think it's very beautiful to have like a very prominent line, if that makes sense. Now I'm gonna go in with a Forever 21 High Shimmer Gloss. I don't know what ingredients are in this lip gloss, but it's beautiful and I had to have it. It's called Seashell or something. Yeah, Seashell. So again, I really love this lip gloss. I had a little bit of an orange tone to it, so I thought that it would really complement the eye look with the pink of the Kylie and then the orangey tone of that lip gloss. You guys, so that completes the look today. It's just a fun look that I came up with, and I really enjoyed making this video. Please consider subscribing, and you guys have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for watching my video. Love you. Peace. Mwah.